I know that growing up, many of us internalized the idea of the fairy tale love story, and I was convinced that getting married was the ultimate prize until I got married. Hi guys, Tiffany Ofili Porter here, where I discuss all things life after sport. In this video, I will be talking about the 5 facts about marriage that you might have to relearn. Let me give a little bit of backstory. I met my husband when I was 17 years old and he was 19 on the University of Michigan track team, and we were instantly drawn to each other. So much so that my coaches and teammates swore we would get married, and here we are 12 years of marriage later and we are going strong. I'm so glad that they were right. Growing up in a Nigerian household, I was taught that marriage and child status are 2 of the key measures of a woman's worth. I've also learned from other women in other cultures that this mindset is not unique to my upbringing. Now, let me be very clear. I am extremely grateful to be married to a man that I love and to have children that I desperately prayed for. I believe in marriage and it has benefited my life in more ways than I can even count. With that, however, I've had to reframe my perspective and release some of the misconceptions that I didn't even realize I've carried. Let's jump into them. Marriage can be celebrated without being idolized. There's a clear distinction between praising the commitment of 2 people and placing that marriage on an unrealistic or unattainable pedestal. I know that growing up, many of us internalized the idea of the fairy tale love story, and I was convinced that getting married was the ultimate prize until I got married. And I realized that getting married to the right person is the ultimate jackpot, and this is a lesson that I will teach my children. I believe that if we place less of an emphasis on the wedding and more of an emphasis on the actual marriage, we will truly remember what's important at the core. Being happily married is really the ultimate flex. It is not your spouse's job to make or keep you happy. Marriage is incredible, but happiness is an inside job. This goes back to the idea of placing your marriage on so high of a pedestal that you think is going to be some kind of cure-all. Going into marriage thinking that it is your spouse's responsibility to make you happy will not only set you up for disappointment, but it also was a very unfair responsibility to place on the shoulders of your spouse. For example, before we conceived our daughter, I went through a lot of miscarriages and I was in an extremely sad place. And although I am very grateful for my husband's love and support during this time, there was a limit to what he could do to make me feel better. And it wasn't his job to do so. But it took that period for me to have a better understanding of the unrealistic expectations that I was placing on my husband and really evaluate what his true responsibility is as a partner. As we've kind of evolved in our marriage, he's there to support me as I'm there to support him, but it is not his job to make me happy. I had to do the internal work to get over that trauma and to be happy and to find ways to get me to that place. Like I said before, happiness is an inside job. Stop the comparison game. Married women should focus their energies on nurturing their relationships and not comparing themselves to others. This includes comparing our marriages to what we see on social media, or even worse, thinking that we are better than our single women counterparts. I bet those relationship goals couples that we see on Instagram are not telling you how many disagreements or arguments that they're having behind closed doors, and they shouldn't, because that is none of our business. Conversely, they might be genuinely happy and living in bliss. And again, that still is none of our business. I am a firm believer that comparison is the thief of joy, and it is a far better use of my time to focus on watering my own grass than to focus on anybody else's. My life motto, with a track pun intended, is to stay in your own lane and to run the race that God specifically placed in front of you. Being single is not a curse. Your single season can be a great opportunity for self-improvement, self-reflection, and preparation. Now, I get that some people may say that I'm speaking from a place of privilege, being that I am married and I'm not on the dating scene, and that's fair. But I've always said that I believe your choice in spouse is one of the most important decisions that you will ever make in your life. So forcing it or rushing into it will have lasting impacts on every single aspect of your life, whether that be good or bad. Now, I know what it feels like to want something so bad and to feel like it's taking too long, only to be on the other side of that wait and have a better understanding of what was really being prepared for you. Easier said than done, I know, but focusing on self-improvement will do wonders for you, regardless of what season you're in, when you're ready to receive your blessing. Having a strong foundation will equip you for when challenges arise. Notice I said when challenges arise and not if challenges arise. Now, I'm not one of those people who believes necessarily that marriage has to be hard work, but I do believe that it needs to be worked on continuously for it to be fulfilling and to be fruitful. Now, my marriage is not perfect, and I never want to give off the image that it is, but I am proud of it, and I am very grateful that these two very imperfect people are working every single day to create our very own version of perfect. What one couple might see as huge challenges might be trivial to another couple, so I do believe that problems can kind of be relative, but still problems nonetheless. Ensuring that your communication, understanding, and appreciation are strong will equip you for when issues will arise and make it that much easier to overcome them. Case in point, having a deep appreciation for my husband allows me to be a little less annoyed when he leaves his shoes in the hallway instead of the mudroom like we've discussed several times. This literally happened today. It's a give and take. So instead of nagging him about the shoes, I just put them away quietly with a little bit of an eye roll while he was upstairs playing with our children. I've found that there is an art to knowing which battles to fight. Humility and gratitude will take you places that entitlement could never. This is true for all aspects of life, particularly marriage. Life can have a way of humbling you whether you're ready or not. So I've decided to approach every single day with a sense of appreciation. No one, including my husband, owes me anything, and this realization has really helped to keep me grounded. I would also encourage you to ditch any sense of entitlement and never let pride hinder you from becoming the upgraded version of yourself, whether you are married or not. I hope this helped. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel, guys. Tiffany Ofili Porter, where I discuss all things life after sport. Like, comment, and subscribe, and join the family. Until next time, peace.